G'day, Big V. Listen up because we've made a bit of a change here after round 11. We've somewhat scrapped our games of the weeks and we're just going to do a massive weekly wrap. So we've split it into 4 little podcasts where we're going to talk about senior men and senior women. And then this one here is our youth men. And then our next podcast will be our youth women. Now, we're going to try and get through as much as we can here because there is just an outrageous amount of games, which is awesome for Big V, difficult for Mark and myself. So we're going to dive straight in. We had Melbourne get the win over Knox at AMSAC 59-56. I believe Melbourne had their full squad of Gaze and Taj. Knox unable to get that one done. We had Sandringham, unfortunately, unable to get over the line. Against Eltham at Southern Stadium. Zan Agosta had a massive game, went for 45 points. Huge game from him. Casey had the turnaround, 101-92. Very, very impressive. Kilsyth got it done, 95-68 over Nuttawading. No Haywood or Ben Barra there.
Yeah, a bit of a struggling Nuttawading side at the moment, Ted. They can't quite string it together. The coach will be pulling his hair out, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Well, moving on, Waverley got it done against Blackburn 106-71. Diamond Valley got it done over Ringwood. Ringwood have been doing very, very well as of late. Diamond Valley have had an impressive weekend going 2-0. We had Daniel Polsma went off for 27, 6 of 11 from three-point land. Harrison Sealy was not around this game, so whether that made a little bit of a difference or not, who knows. Bailey Ruff finished with 22 and a Hale with 24, just unable to get the job done there. Frankston 103-79 against Ballarat. Mark, what do we think about that one?
Yeah, Corey Hastings went off. Corey Hastings is a very handy pickup for this Frankston side this year, and you know they're sort of working their way up in towards that final contention. They were sitting relegation zone early this year. I should correct myself. Corey Hastings went off on Sunday. It was Sunday's game against Casey where they won 105-99, where he featured strongly.
Absolutely. We had another one here. Ringwood went down to Keilor. Keilor had a massive game, 104-63. It looks like Chase Page has just come back from college and just gone nuts.
Yeah, watching this game live, I went to the game expecting Ringwood to be the leaders here, and I saw Sealy was playing, and then I turned up and it was in the second quarter, and poor Ringwood was already down by 20. I was shocked, but super impressed with Keilor, and if we see more of that in the back end of the year, they're going to make a push up the ladder, no doubt, Ted.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very impressive as they move their way up. Diamond Valley got the win. Again, over Knox 100-72. Like we said, Diamond Valley moving their way up. Knox falling a little bit, going 0-2 for this weekend. Ballarat got the upset over Dandenong. We had Nick Robinson win for 22.
Yeah, and Dandenong will be upset with this one, Ted. They've been sitting pretty on top of the ladder. They've been getting some big wins along the way. And while Justin Assey still had his 26 and 8 rebounds, it just looks like they had a little bit of issues defending this game.
Yeah, absolutely. With Robbo with 22, Figget, the brothers went for 18 and 12 respectively. Talbot, 18 points. He's starting to shoot the 3 ball a little bit more. They're going 2 from 5. Someone who's probably not known for a shooter. He's an insane athlete, likes to get on the ring. Having the 8, 6, and 2 statistics to go along with his game. To then round it out, we had Frankston that went 105 to beat Casey 99, like you said.
This is the Hastings show.
There it is.
The Hastings show. He had 36 just quietly with his 8 rebounds and 4 steals, and he just willed his team to victory, didn't he?
Absolutely. A very, very impressive young player come from Southern Peninsula. A huge pickup for the Frankston Blues. Blank Shanklin went for 20. Ethan Bolton had a very respective 22 points and 10 rebounds, going 3 from 8 from the Land of Plenty, just unable to get that win. Moving on, Youth League 1 men. We had some massive games here. Wyndham, the Wyndham Way, 119, defeated Altona. I believe it was Josh Norling versus Kurt Butler here.
Yeah, two huge scorers, and Norling is just sort of proving that he's probably in that conversation for the season with 31 points and a very, very efficient 71%, Ted.
Absolutely. Kurt Butler did as much as he could in his 30 minutes going for 29 points. Very, very efficient. Almost 90% from the field with his 11 rebounds. Just unable to get it done on the free throw line. Just shooting the 3 of 12. Sherbrooke defeating Coburg 81-77. Sherbrooke shared the load quite a bit here. We didn't see Dylan Johnson or Jacob Burke-Doggett go off in this game. It was quite consistent across the board there. Bailey Ross with the 21.
Yeah, I would have expected a bigger margin here with one of the top sides playing. It's one of the bottom sides. It shows Coburg have a couple of pieces to keep them in games, which is nice. And they got a fairly good scoring spread, I should say. Emmanuel Machok, 23 points off the bench, is a handy little addition there.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on now, we had Bulleen take off and defeat Craigieburn on the road. I believe it was Jamie Henry who had himself quite a game, finding himself on the starting five. Very, very impressive from him. Bendigo and Collingwood, an extremely close game, 76-75. We'll have to figure out what happened there as to how close that was, but believe Collingwood have had some unfortunate losses as of late.
Yeah, for a team that is searching for wins, it's a couple of close losses in a row. Probably hurting them a little bit at the moment. So we'll need to turn that around and figure out how to win those games.
Yeah, absolutely. Camberwell got the win by 8 points over Keysborough. I believe it was Hugo, am I right, that had...
Hugo Bergerman.
There he is.
Yeah, look, he got himself locked in defensively. He did a really good job on Jacob Oriem at times there, and Hugo ended up with 18 points, I think 10 rebounds and 5 steals or assists.
Very impressive.
Good game from him.
Yeah, Wyndham came back again and just absolutely dominated, 116 to Coburg's 70. Oscar Jones came down and had a very nice paired up game with Joshua Norling. Very, very impressive for them. Hume also massive 135 points for the game. I don't know what happened defensively because they gave Craigieburn 99.
I don't think there was any defense in this stadium on Sunday. The last quarter was 40-34, I think, from memory.
It was something wild.
40-34. I got it right. It seems like everyone just switched off and just started giving each other shots. And let's get our stats up and try and get on that starting five, Ted.
It looks like it. It does look like it. Bulleen, to round out this game, hosted Geelong United and were unable to get the win, 75-76. The Henley brothers both played just unable to get that win there. Moving on now, there are a lot of games here in Youth League 2, so we'll swift through them as quickly as we can. Albury-Wodonga got the massive win over Melton, 103-50. We had Surf Coast host the Wallen Panthers, and they just unfortunately couldn't get over the line, 83-96. A massive game marked Chelsea unable to get the win over Southern Peninsula, 100-107.
Another game which doesn't really resemble much defense, 207 total points scored for the game. And I'm not surprised with that defensive effort that they're probably not looking to push into the top 4 there, Ted.
Yeah, not quite. Melbourne University got the win over Western Port at home. I believe this was game of the week. Very, very impressive. 2 teams competing for that championship and grading process. We had Sunbury that had a massive, massive win, 137 points over the Northeast Bushies, 48. Whittlesea got the job done on the Saturday night, hosted Bellarine 93-65. I believe Ethan Bateman had a sort of quiet game. I think he only had 10 points for that one.
Yeah, might have got a lead early and decided to rest him a little bit. Bellarine are a really young squad. They've got enormous potential, but Whittlesea they got some of those older players, more experienced players who got the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Mornington had a close one against Warrandyte. Something we'd probably expect Mornington to expand this lead a little bit more. Matthew Wolf had the 21 points to go with his 14 rebounds, but Warrandyte is sort of hanging about. They're not doing as bad as what we think. They have had some upsets, but they're still around.
Yeah, they got some pieces there. Noah Mullen at point guard with 15 points and 4 assists. We go with 4 steals, does a bit of everything, and then Harrison Barnes was huge for